Hi, my name is Adedeji Adewunmi, and I'm happy to be with you. So this is the Leader in You. This is actually the first edition of the Leader in You. So why are we actually going through Leader in You? We actually want to equip and then train leaders to understand and their purpose and to be able to take charge of the environment. And one of the things we are trying to work in or work through is the character and the attitude of every leader, to understand that whatever they do in life, to understand their character shapes who they are. It shapes the kind of person they become, and the kind of person they become creates the kind of followers that follows them. So this is what the leader in you. The leader in you actually help you to understand your purpose and your place in life. So my name is Adedeji Adewunmi. So I'm so glad to be with you. So the thing we're going to be talking today in the leader in you is the power of influence. The power of influence. I understand a lot of people actually said one or two things about influence. There's a lot of news about influence. Influence is you making someone to do what they don't really want to do, or making somebody to walk in a path they might want to walk in, but they don't see somebody that can actually instill the confidence and the boldness inside them. So that is what influence is. So today we're going to be talking about the power of influence. How powerful influence is. You might actually be looking at it that, oh, influence, well, I influence one or two people. You don't know what it does to people. You don't know what it does to followers. You don't know what it does to you as a leader. Every leader actually is a result of an influence. You actually become a leader due to one or two influence, and the kind of leader you become depends on what actually influenced you. Right now, somebody actually, when somebody was growing up maybe in the area of politics, you spend so much time with all the political leaders, you've spent so much time, you actually seen them, you understand them, you seen their secret, you seen the weakness, you see their strength. So you understand it deeply, and then before you know, the urge came inside of you that I want to become a political leader, because you've actually spent time around the political leader, because somebody in the political leader or people in the political area actually influenced you to become or to aspire to become a political leader. It's the same thing in the business setting. It's the same thing in the ministry setting, in the same thing in the church setting, in the same thing in the society setting or the group setting. Every one of us actually wanted to be in a position that will get attention. People always miss fulfilling destiny and purpose to become a leader. When you fulfill purpose and destiny, you're actually leading the people to actually achieve their own goals, but doesn't necessarily make you a leader. You might just be influencing them to do what you're doing, to more them follow you. Doesn't really make you a leader. A leader is somebody that actually does one or two things intentionally to make people to walk in the path, to be influence the mind of people. That is why the difference between a leader and a boss is intentional influence. Intentional influence is saying that, okay, I want to influence this person to do this thing in a certain way, but a boss just come around and does how it's being done, or just move along according to the wind. Like a boss, you already have a strategic, or you already have a template that this is how you need to work. This is what you need to work with. But a leader actually doesn't really work with template. They produce ideas. The ideas begin to influence people and shape the minds of people, and begin to shape how they think, how they see things, how they allow things to work in their life. So that is what the intentional influence. That's how the intentional influence differentiates between the leader and the boss. So one of the things that we are going to be looking at, how powerful is intentional leaders? How powerful is intentional influence? Let me put it that way. How powerful is the intentional influence? If you're going to be influencing people and you want to do it intentionally, you need to understand that, okay, what do I really want to do? How do I really want to influence people intentionally? How do I really want to help them to see life in a perception? Okay, I understand there was a story. I've mentioned the story in a couple of places. The story was about two young guys. They were actually in the street, in the corner, in my street. Sometimes when we hear there's a story of a long, we begin to phantom, or begin to put our mind in the far away places. What I'm talking about actually happened in my street. this young guy, the two young guys, let me use young boys because they are the age of 8 and 11, 8 and 11, 13. I can't really guess their age, but that's their age bracket. We're going to group them into being 8 to 13. So they were so focused on a particular event, and I was like, what is taking up their mind that they were so focused and they've forgotten that they are in that environment, they've forgotten what is happening around them. They were so focused on a guy sitting on a car with a lady. They were caressing each other, kissing, one of doing stuff like that. So from there, I can picture that this guy is already telling these guys, he's already influencing their mind that they need to actually make money, they need to gain their freedom. And when they gain freedom, they should come and live this kind of life. That's the best of life to live. He didn't know that he was unintentionally influencing these people. That's what makes him a boss. He's just doing things based on the cultural, based on the background, based on the society or the environment they found themselves. He wasn't doing it intentional. Intentional leaders are people that understand that whatever they do actually have one or two influence, either negative or positive influence on the people. And for you as a leader that want to really make a great change in the society, or you're aspiring to become a leader, and let me get this perception right. A leader doesn't mean it's a position. A leader is someone that has actually taken a course or a purpose to actually help other people to achieve their goals and potential, to lift people up, to develop people, to groom people, to make sure that there's strategy, to implement strategies, to implement culture, to implement something in the society for the well-being of that society. That is who a leader is. It's not just occupying a seat or position. Like I was explaining, it's possible a boss occupy a position, and what he does is just trying to do the normal thing, and then he's always thinking about himself. But when a leader takes a position of a boss, the leader starts thinking a way forward of the organization, way forward of the ministry, way forward of the church, way forward of the society, way forward of the country. That is what who a leader is. So unintentionally, this guy is already influencing these people. Unintentional influence is just something we do randomly that we don't actually focus on. We don't put our mind that this is good, this is what this is going to result. But intentional leader actually puts intentional influence, let me put it that way, I keep mixing it up. Intentional influence actually put their leg on the ground, or actually the leader working with the intentional influence actually puts his or her leg on the ground and say, this is what I want to achieve. And the purpose of this power of influence, which we cannot even finish in just one of the videos we're watching, what we're focusing on today is how can we actually become an intentional influencer that differentiates us from every other people, that we don't go alongside with the wind, we don't try to achieve something because everybody is achieving a certain way, but we're focused that we want to make this change, and we want to make this change in our society. So as a person, we need to start thinking in the right direction, which is the intentional leader. How can you be an intentional leader? First of all, you need to understand yourself. You need to understand yourself. You can't be an intentional leader without knowing who you are. You need to understand who you are. You need to understand your life. You need to understand your background. You need to understand the story that tickles you. You need to understand the things that shapes your mind. You need to understand who you are as a person. If you don't understand who you are as a person, you're going to have challenges in trying to become an intentional leader. Somebody that's trying to do something to change, because intentional influencer is calculated. You can actually know the regions and the people, out of people that you have actually influenced. You can know which attitude, which character can actually bring positive or negative. So for you to understand, to do that, you need to know who you are. You need to know your strengths and your weaknesses. You need to know where you need to work on. You need to know where you don't need to work on. You need to know your focus. You need to know your priority. If you don't know yourself, you're going to have challenge. You're going to have challenges. You cannot really lead without even knowing yourself in the first place. And now trying to be intentional influencer, you need to really know who you are. And secondly, you need to understand what you're doing. You need to understand what you're doing. Like now, if you're going to be an intentional influencer, first, why do I want to really influence? And what influence do I want to really make, like a mark and all that? What do I want to really want the society to know me with? You need to know what you're doing. Some people actually just try to influence, trying to create, and some people says they're influencing, but what they are doing is attention. They're just trying to get people's attention. When they have a lot of attention and a lot of followers that are following them, and they don't do anything with them, they waste all the followers. At the end of the day, multinational companies will come and pick one or two people and try to use them or for an advert to make sure they are actually walking around their brand. They're actually advertising their brand to their followers. That's what they end up in and get some money. That is not what a leader is. A leader, you know, you have the followers. What are you going to do with them? What is it that you really want to do? That's why you need to know what to do, what you are doing. If a company, if what you are possessing doesn't align with the company or the international company that is saying that I want to use it for an advert, you don't accept it. You can say no to some things and say yes because you know what you are doing, especially in the ministry. As I made a church setting, as a leader there, you understand that okay, whatever you're doing, you are actually influencing one or two people. So you need to work with in the intentional influencer. And the last thing that you need to actually work on, which we're going to talk about today, we're going to see more of our influence, power of influence video in the more videos on power of influence. Another thing you need to work on that you need to understand is your environment. Your environment. What is your environment saying? So for you to be an intentional influencer in your to succeed in it, you need to understand your environment. You need to be able to study your environment. Sometimes some of us, our environment is not the physical things that we are seeing. It's far from it. Sometimes it's things that we cannot see that actually shape us and become our environment. So you need to understand your environment. You need to understand how you can help your environment to grow and become what you want it to be. So if today you actually occupying a seat, start thinking in a way that I just don't want to occupy a seat. I want to be a leader. I want to be an intentional influencer, that I want to influence these people positively. Please focus on the positive aspect, because sometimes we want to influence people, but we're influencing them in the negative aspect. For example, a madam that has people working for her, every time she comes in and try to do some things, like maybe her character, she has a bad character, talks to people anyhow, and some people are already digesting that, saying for them to succeed in life, they need not to take bullshit from people. They need to talk to people anyhow. They need to know people. And we now use the one word to coin it. We say we want to express our feelings, how we feel on the inside, and you talk to people anyhow with how we feel inside. Intentional influencer don't do that. It's only boss that does that are not intentional influencer. So you need to understand that even though I'm a madam in this place, I want to be an intentional influencer. So thank you very much for taking time to watch our video. Till I come your way next time. And don't forget, my name is Adedeji Adewunmi, and I'm glad to be with you. Have a nice day.